Welcome back to the Final Fantasy VII Remake Pro Guide to a Perfect Save File. Today I'm really excited to be sharing the completed guide to Chapter 5, but first a quick Chapter 4 recap. Chapter 4, Mad Dash. Cloud agrees to help Jessie with a secret job topside in Sector 7. When they reach their rendezvous point, however, Biggs and Wedge are already waiting for them. After a chat, the four decide to all go together. Motor chase. The group shakes off both public security and a soldier before reaching the depot. Dismounting from their bikes, they head into Sector 7. To Sector 7, the four enter the employee housing district where Jessie was born and raised, while the residents there settle in for the night. Homecoming. The group arrives at Jessie's house. Jessie tells Cloud to wait outside. The Jessie job. With the ID badge Jessie asked for in hand, Cloud leaves the house while the Avalanche members make merry in the kitchen. Sector 7-6 Annex infiltration. An attack on the guard room has the three on alert, but does not deter them from sneaking into the 7-6 Annex. Once in, Jessie gives the signal and the diversionary operation begins. A little diversion. Avalanche HQ operatives storm the scene as they were coincidentally launching an assault of the 7-6 Annex at the same time. Amidst the chaos that ensues, Cloud and Biggs escape the Annex. Rendezvous at the empty lot. The group meets up at an empty lot. The mission is a success, and now it is time to head back to the Sector 7 slums. Return to the slums. Thanks to Jessie, the group finds parachutes for their escape, and after some initial trepidation, jumps off the edge of the plate. To Wedge's place. After seeing Wedge home, Cloud heads back to Jessie's place to collect his reward. Remaining payment. Cloud receives his reward from Jessie. Confused by Jessie's earnest invitation, he leaves Jessie's place. Slum wisdom. Cloud is late and Tifa is waiting for him when he returns to Stargazer Heights. They have a heart-to-heart and clear the air between them before turning in for the night. Sudden attack. Jessie has been injured in the attack by unknown assailants, meaning Barret has no choice but to ask Cloud to participate in the next mission, a new operation. Cloud, Tifa, and Barret all board the train and head for Reactor 5, determined to make this second bombing mission a success. So we're going to be spending Chapter 5 navigating our way along the Corkscrew Tunnel, which is basically a giant tunnel system full of subway lines and freeways. It's just a transportation system between the slums and the plate up above, and you can see it in relation to Sector 7 there. We actually visited the Corkscrew Tunnel back in Chapter 4 when we did the bike chase scene, but we're going to be seeing it from a much different perspective this time around on foot. There's a lot of long tunnels, but there's some really cool Easter eggs if you take the time to explore. Corkscrew Tunnel, a spiral train tunnel that winds around Midgar's central pillar, connecting the plate's topside cityscape to the slums below. The security on board the trains is airtight, and ID scans are required for all passengers. If any suspicious persons are spotted, security drones are mobilized to eliminate the threat. And for our Chapter 5 collectibles, we've got 8 chests this time around, most notably the leather bracer and the star pendant. We also get our 4th elixir, plus some other decent items as well. We already have healing and lightning materia, but this is our first opportunity to get poison, so that's pretty sweet. We're going to get Tifa's Metal Knuckles weapon, however not till the end of the chapter. We get some other items there, plus the stamp music disc and the Plan E trophy. I want to take a moment to highlight the Party tab in the menu, and this is a really great feature of the game because it allows you to see all of your character's strengths and attributes all in one place. Each character has 2 pages of information. The first page shows your weapons and your accessories and other general statistics, where your second page will show what moves you have currently available to you. Because the game is so fluid in terms of changing up materia and equipment, this information is always going to be changing, so it's a really nice place to come and see everything laid out nicely and summarized. Alright, and here we go with Chapter 5, Dogged Pursuit.
This is an announcement from the Shinra Electric Power Company. The terrorist group Avalanche has issued another bomb threat. In response, we have raised the threat level and entered a state of heightened alert. All lines are currently experiencing delays. We anticipate that our arrival in Sector 4 will be later than scheduled.
The target's Mako Reactor 5. From the station, we take the back streets. Once we're inside the facility, it's the same deal as last time.
Head for Mako storage.
And then blow it all to hell. Let's do this one for Jessie and Wedge. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't think word would spread this fast. There's barely anyone on this train, and none of them look happy to be here.
Might stand out as a group. You two stay here.
Alright, so we're riding the train to the Sector 5 reactor. making our way one step closer to realizing Barret's goal of destroying every single reactor in Midgar and restoring some of the Mako energy to the planet.
Cloud,
The train will be passing an ID checkpoint shortly.
here comes the first hurdle.
Not much of one.
I know, but that doesn't mean I don't have butterflies in my stomach.
So far, Jessie's fake IDs seem to be holding up against the security systems and the laser ID scanners.
Hey, would you mind keeping an eye on things the next car over? I'm worried there might be trouble.
Why's that?
Barrett's always on edge before missions, but you know he's a good guy underneath it all. The people on this train don't.
He'll be fine.
Maybe, but I won't be until I know for sure.
Be right back.
Thanks.
So we can head into the second train car and just keep an eye on Barret and make sure he's not getting into any trouble here.
So, do you still support those terrorists? Avalanche is a blight on Midgar.
Huh?
Their bomb threat has thrown our offices into chaos, let alone the reactor itself. It's total insanity! But we won't lose heart. No! Everyone at Shinra agrees. The reactor will stay online!
Is that right?
What? You got a problem with that?
Do I have a problem with that? Oh, you can bet.
He doesn't.
Asshole.
You know you're better than that.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's Barret singing the original victory fanfare from the original Final Fantasy. Man, he's got to be more careful. He's going to blow our cover. All right, so we got some healing materia right here.
I have nothing more to say to you and your friend. The Sector 4 offices got the worst of it. Everyone's panicking over there. Just leave me alone.
It's a little bizarre and kind of scary that this Shinra manager has to live in the slums.
Why don't you go check on Tifa? Quit screwing around here.
And back to the first train car we go. Hopefully Barret's going to behave now. Although I really don't think he cares one way or the other if we get found out. He's ready to just blow past anybody that stands in his way.
Emergency ID scan in progress.
No way!
Emergency ID scan in progress.
Alright, so it looks like we're actually about to get busted, so I'm going to prepare my party for an action-filled chapter. We're going to start by doing some upgrades on our character's weapons. So for Cloud's Buster Sword, I want to give him better magic attack power since we have the SP to do that now. And as far as the Iron Blade goes, until we unlock the next core, there's not a whole lot I want to do, so I'm just going to raise Cloud's HP because he could use some more HP. We got some tough fights coming up, so better defense, more HP, I'm down with that. Tifa's got enough SP for a small upgrade, so I'm thinking we're going to go with max HP up for her as well. Every little bit helps, so we might as well just toss that on there for her. Alright, sweet. And then with Barret, we've got a bit of a bigger upgrade to do. He's got 20 SP. We actually haven't fought with him since Chapter 1, so yeah, it's been a while. He's built up some SP that we can use up now. So he starts with 2 cores unlocked, and the first core we've got attack power, magic attack power, max HP, and a new materia slot. I'm going to go with attack power and a new materia slot. It's very important to have as much materia equipped as you can level it up. We'll do magic attack power as well. That's going to leave us with 8 SP, and then from our second core we can get attack power, magic attack power, defense, magic defense, max HP, and a new materia slot. So again, I'm going to go with the new materia slot. As I was saying, it's just really important to have access to as much materia as you can for different power-ups and to level up that materia so you can get stronger for later in the game. And I feel that we're now at the appropriate level that we can start having a bit of fun with the DLC items. For the first 4 chapters, it would have been kind of cheap to use that stuff, but now we'll just equip some of these things for the novelty of saying we were able to use them for our perfect playthrough. So Cloud got the Midgar bangle, Barret got the Shinra bangle, and we'll give Tifa the Corneo armlet. Oh, and we tossed the Superstar belt onto Barret as well, because why not, right? So we can clear all our materia away. You guys know I like to get a clean slate whenever I start a new mission. And this is what I've come up with. So this will change throughout the chapter, but this is just a start. So Cloud's got First Strike, ATB, MP up, and Lightning. Barret's got Assess, HP up, Chakra, Barrier, and Fire. And then for Tifa, we got Deadly Dodge, Luck Up, Ice, Revival, and Healing. And we're going to check out our DLC summons as well. So I gave Chocobo Chick to Cloud because they have the same hairstyle, Cactuar to Barret because that's kind of comical, and Tifa gets the cool one, Carbuncle. Okay, and we also need to change our quick commands to reflect our new materia. So we'll give Cloud Braver, and then I'm going to put Thunder on his X command. And then for Barret, we'll do Assess and Fyra. And then for Tifa, we'll give her Cure, and we'll give her Ice. So then everyone has their elemental attack. And now we're ready to proceed.
Unauthorized IDs detected. Threat level critical. Inspection and containment sweep initiated, commencing at the rear of the train.
Not good.
Get over here! Now!
Take care of them, Cloud.
On it.
Alright, so we have a new enemy type called the Slug Ray. We did face these things in Chapter 4 when we were on the motorcycle, but this is our first time facing them in traditional combat. I want to keep my ATB high using ATB boost in the first strike materia. I put the pressure on these guys with a couple triple slashes, and then I follow that up with a focused thrust to stagger all three simultaneously, completely filling my limit gauge, which I can then use cross slash on the remaining two Slug Rays and just finish them off in one go. Staggering opponents to fill your limit gauge is a really cool technique, and you don't get to use it that often, but this is one of the places where it works. It's possible to run the timer down to 0 here and get a different outcome. I'll be sharing more details about that at the end of the episode.
Please, you have to get out of here.
What are you doing?
Trying to keep you alive.
But I work for Shinra. I'm the enemy.
I don't care. I don't want anyone to die. Please.
I'll look after the others.
My turn.
There's no end to them.
3 unauthorized passengers successfully contained, neutralizing threat.
Looks like you're right, soldier boy.
Screw this. The station will be crawling with security. We gotta jump.
Screw that!
Need to slow the train down.
Sounds like a Biggs Plan E. Okay, y'all watch and learn. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna do it. Gonna show you how it's done.
Tifa! You okay?
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
So for the first couple of battles, we're going to be focusing mainly on Cloud's combat. What I want to do is fill up both my ATB bars right here. Then I'm going to cast Thunder on the first Slug Ray. Then I'm going to use ATB boost to double my ATB. Then I'm going to use 2 Thunders in a row. So this enables me to basically cast a triple Thunder.
That's gotta be him.
Before we head towards Barret, though, we're going to head back this way because there is a room with some boxes in it. So we'll see if we can get a Moogle Medal, maybe. Kind of a cool reference to how you could run the wrong way down the tracks in the original.
Where are you going?
Barret and Tifa constantly remind you when you're going the wrong direction throughout the chapter.
You think Barret can hold them off by himself?
So if we go through the door on the left here, we're going to go into like a little maintenance room where the boxes are. And yeah, it's not a great reward for running all the way back here, but in the interest of completion, I wanted to show you guys this place. A Moogle Medal. Alright, it was totally worth it. We're off to a good start. So for whatever reason, if you weren't able to escape the train car within 3 minutes, then you'd be given a different cutscene and Cloud would jump out of the train by himself and he'd wind up down at this end, closer to that room with the boxes, and you'd also have an additional fight on your hands. I chose not to do that just because this is the more professional way of doing it. I also want to mention that because I've been souping up the magic attack power of Cloud's Iron Blade this whole time, he now has the highest possible magic attack without doing any grinding at this point in the game. So that's how I'm able to one-shot the Slug Rays with a single Thunderbolt. That, coupled with ATB boost and first strike materia, is absolutely devastating for the Slug Rays. To pull off my triple Thunder technique, fill 2 ATB bars, cast Thunder, then ATB boost, then cast 2 more Thunders.
Thanks. For when we jump from the train.
No biggie. You're pretty light.
You always know what to say.
So here's our first chest with 2 high potions. Oh, and just in case you guys were wondering, Cloud does have the ability to run through trains and possibly other solid objects. And I should mention that Cloud also has the earrings equipped still to enhance his magic power even more for my thunder attack.
Well done, well done. I felt sure we had them, didn't you?
Sir!
Born survivors, these surats. Speaking of which, where's the third?
In custody, sir.
Return it to the wild.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Aw, hell yeah, the music's ramping up. Things are starting to get exciting here. We have another fight coming up. This time we're going to have 2 slug rays and 3 security officers. So I'm going to use my triple ATB technique again. This time I'm going to use 2 thunderbolts and a triple slash for the last 3 guys. So what I'm going to do is build up my ATB so that I have 2 full bars. I'll use thunder on this slug ray. Then I'll use ATB boost and thunder on the second slug ray right over here. And then I'm going to move back over to the security guards, and then I can use triple slash to finish these guys off.
Let's go.
I had so much fun experimenting during this chapter and finding the best strategies for each encounter. I was expecting great things from this game in terms of story and graphics and music, but what I wasn't expecting was that the battle system would be even more fun than the original.
He's close. Come on. There. Barret.
Tifa, could use some help here.
We're coming.
Make it quick. Should be some stairs over there.
We better hurry.
Yeah.
I've had it up to here with you damn robo. I'm gonna rip off those spindly legs of yours one by one.
So you may have noticed the stamp graffiti on the wall by the staircase, and there's a number of those placed throughout the chapter as markers to help you find your way to the end. So we're going to do a fun little mini game and do a stamp counter and see how many we can find. We also got a bit more SP for Barret, so I just upgraded his max HP. Let's keep moving.
I ain't going down without a fight.
That doesn't sound good.
Let's go.
I love how the music shifts when you enter combat.
Barret!
And for the first time, we get to fight with a full party. Alright, first thing I want to do is switch to Barret. I'm going to use his triangle technique to fill up my ATB. Then I can use an assessment because I haven't done an assessment of the slug rays yet. We're going to switch back to Cloud, and we're going to fill up both of our ATB bars. We're going to thunder this guy. We're going to use ATB boost. We're going to focus in on the next slug ray. We're going to use another thunder. And then we can finish off these grenadiers over here with a triple slash. Just like that. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, this calls for a song!
That's gotta be the last of them, right?
Oh, who cares? We can take them. Now let's confirm our position and get back on mission. That reactor's waiting. Looks like it's gonna be Plan E.
Go on.
Plan A was if everything went off without a hitch. From the station, it would have been a straight shot to the reactor. Didn't work out, but we knew going in we had to have alternatives. Backup plans in case we had to get off early. From closer in to further out, B, C, D, and so on.
Up to what?
To E.
Lucky us.
Yeah! You're damn right.
Anyway, we were riding the train between Sector 4 and the main pillar when we had to bail out. And we ended up on the adjacent line, which should take us to Reactor 5.
That's right. So for now, we follow the tracks. Not too far, though. Need to switch to a different route before we hit the station. Because you can bet your ass is gonna be crawling with security. All on high alert.
Let's move.
Our friends in Sector 5 marked the route, so don't worry about getting lost. It's a straight shot to victory, people. All we gotta do is tank it.
You have nothing to worry about, sir. Preparations for the grand finale are proceeding without incident. I have the utmost confidence that everything will play out as you intended. Yes, of course. I will not fail you, sir.
Sir,
Analytics reports that the results fall within the admissible range. However, the casualty rate significantly exceeds previous projections.
Remind me what your job is. Is it to question the wisdom of your superiors and bemoan your personal hardships?
Sir?
Huh. Casualty rate. You think I care about the casualty rate? They're pawns in a greater game. If your stock runs low, then go round up more from Sector 3 or wherever else. Use your head and bring me solutions instead of problems for a change, yes?
Sir.
It is so hard to find good help these days. Which is why the President ought to count his blessings. What would he do without me?
I love the way this next scene starts. It's the first time you get to run around the field with Tifa, Barret, and Cloud all in the same party together. The music is so inspiring and energizing. And I love the way this chapter unfolds, how you start with Cloud, and then you get Tifa, and then you finally get Barret. Okay, so we're going to go on this door on the right, and we have a chest in here. It's our second chest, and it contains an elixir, so definitely don't miss out on this chest. If you've been following my guide, this should be your fourth elixir. And behind us we have some more boxes. Amazing, another Moogle medal. Alright, that's 2, nice. We don't get to do anything with these Moogle medals until we encounter a special salesman who accepts them as currency in Chapter 8.
When the time comes, remember, we just gotta follow the nose.
What?
Stamp's nose.
We look for graffiti, then head in whichever direction its nose points. But pay attention to railway signals too. You see blue lights, you're going the right way.
We got 3 more slug rays here, and I'm going to use the same technique I've been using so far. So fill up both ATB bars, thunder on the first guy. Just back away from that, we don't want to get hit by that because we'll get stunned. So yeah, thunder on that guy, ATB boost, thunder on the next guy, and thunder on the last guy. Perfect.
Follow the blue lights and we'll reach the reactor.
So Barrett's advising us to follow the blue lights, but we want to get a secret over here first. And this hallway's looking way too clean. Let's mess it up a bit. Got some boxes here as well. We got 3 were-rats up here, but a simple triple slash should take care of them. Oh, that guy survived randomly, so we'll just get him with one last swipe. We got our third chest containing a star pendant. And now we can head back down the hall, looking much messier thanks to us. We're going to take a little break from the action right here. I want to go through the menus and show off a couple things. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the star pendant. It's an accessory, and you can see a 5-pointed pendant that soothes the wearer in mysterious ways. Become immune to poison. So we're going to equip that to Barret right away. We have some enemies coming up in a bit that will inflict poison, so that's going to be a protection against that. And then while we're at it, Cloud got a little bit more SP, so we're going to upgrade his Buster Sword. I'm going to give him some defense, mostly because we're just running out of options until he unlocks his next core. And then if we go to the Iron Blade, I'm going to upgrade the attack power, since I've already upgraded magic as much as it can be at this point. I think once we get Cloud to level 15, which is actually coming up pretty soon, we're going to be able to unlock his 3rd upgrade core, and then we can extend the magic attack even more. And we have a new enemy to take a look at, the Slug Ray, a compact sentry weapon manufactured by Shinra's Advanced Weaponry Division. Its gyroscopic control system enables the unit to track and engage intruders from the air at high speeds. Physical attack rapidly fills its stagger gauge. If dealt a certain amount of physical damage while airborne, it will crash to the ground. It's weak against lightning, so definitely barrage it with thunder, and you can sometimes nab an orb of gravity from it. Yeah, these little guys can be pretty pesky sometimes, especially because some of their attacks will stun you, so watch out for that. That's why I'm so proud of my triple thunder technique and how I can one-shot these guys with thunder.
You gotta check the signal, son. The signal.
Barrett's still going on about following the blue light signals. We have a pretty diverse group of enemies coming up. We got 2 guard dogs, 2 slug rays, and an elite
Bates is way
grenadier.
ahead of us. Jessie was gonna back him up, so it wouldn't surprise me if he needs our help. So let's not keep him waiting.
Right.
And they're all weak against a different element, so everyone's going to have a chance to showcase their magic here. I'm going to switch to Barret and have him use his triangle move, the overcharge ability, on one of the slug rays. And now that he's got enough ATB, we can use fire on the elite grenadier, which is strong enough to one-shot them because they're weak against fire, even though Barret's magic attack isn't as strong as Cloud. With Cloud's first strike and ATB boost, we can exploit the weakness of the slug rays and cast thunder twice to eliminate both of them with one shot apiece. This just leaves the guard dogs, and with Tifa we can use a combination of her intense physical damage pressure and her blizzard move, which the guard dogs are weak against. So we'll focus in on the second guard dog. I can pressure and stagger him with blizzard, and then I can use my uppercut into dive kick combo to finish him.
That's the way to do it.
Agreed, Tifa. Okay, yeah, so that's a pretty fun fight because we had a chance to showcase everyone's elemental attacks. As a general rule of thumb, humanoid opponents are weak against fire, monsters and creatures are weak against ice, and mechanical and machine-like enemies are weak against lightning. We got our 4th chest up here containing an ether, and we can keep moving. I talked about this earlier in the chapter, but I love how fun the battle system is in this game. You can get so creative with it and come up with your own strategies and tactics. The first time I ever played this game, I definitely struggled during some of these encounters, so it's definitely not as easy as I'm making it out to look. And that's where the fun comes in, trying to embody the superhuman elements of these characters and just taking it to the next level and making the fights super badass. Alright, so we got our next stamp graffiti marker up here on the staircase, indicating that this is the way we need to head.
It knows we trust.
Good thing our colleagues put up all that stamp graffiti. Without it, we'd be lost for sure.
So we're going to head up the staircase and we're going to encounter 3 more were-rats, and it'll be the same technique as last time. We're just going to top up our first ATB bar from the first strike materia, and then we can use a triple slash to take all 3 out.
Deal with it.
Ain't got nothing on me.
Barret, you didn't even do anything. We have some more Shinra boxes dotted along the catwalk up here, so we can grab all these. Ideally, I need like between 25 and 30 Moogle medals by the time I get to the end of Chapter 8 to get all the purchases from the salesman.
What's that?
Nothing good.
Guys, I think it might be a nest.
We got 2 antidotes in our 5th
All
chest.
kinds of creepy crawlies make themselves at home in the plate. They get messed up even more by the Mako.
Mako did this?
No, not Mako. Shinra. What?
That black and white world of yours.
You like it, huh? You know there's room for one more.
I'll think about it.
Now we're going to encounter another new enemy called the Grass Trike, and it's a gigantic, nasty-looking bug. So right off the bat, we want to switch over to Barret. We're going to use Overcharge to charge up an ATB, then we're going to assess the Grass Trike, because we always need to get our assessment on a new enemy type. We're going to switch back to Cloud, perform triple slash to get rid of the peripheral were-rats. Then we're going to switch over to Tifa, and we're going to use a combination of Blizzard and physical attacks to get it staggered and eliminated. Simultaneously, we were also able to exploit its weakness for our battle log. We got 2 more high potions in our 6th of 8 chests. Also, Tifa just leveled up, so we should have some more SP for her, so let's move up to upgrade her weapons. And I think I want to add more attack power on her 2nd core, so let's switch over to the 2nd core and we can upgrade her attack power. Perfect, okay. And then I also want to read off the flavor text for the new Grass Trike enemy that we just encountered, so we'll head into the enemy intel. And so yeah, we got Grass Trike, large insects that like dark, confined spaces, usually encountered in tunnels and the plate interior. They ensnare their prey with sticky threads discharged from their mouth. Ice attacks rapidly fill their stagger gauge. They protect themselves with a barrier when low on health or isolated. They can sometimes drop spider webs, so we'll try to get one of those, and they're weak against Blizzard, just like most monsters. So this is what the Grass Trike looks like. Pretty nasty looking thing. Definitely would not want to see that in real life. I also love how I basically filled out the entire battle log on the first Grass Trike we encountered, other than the limit break used, but that's a little bit harder to accomplish. So we ripped our way through the cobwebs blocking the path forwards, and now we're going to face 2 Grass Trikes this time. First thing I want to do is double my ATB. I'm going to use Double Thunder on this first Grass Trike. Switch over to Barret, and we're going to finish him off with his overcharged ability, simultaneously charging his ATB so we can use Fyra on the next Grass Strike. We can then switch to Tifa, cast Blizzard on him, and then just finish him off with some attacks. Oh sick, I got another Moogle medal in the skirmish. Alright, we got more boxes over here. Another one! I think that's 4 in this chapter so far, so that puts my total up to 14. I'll need around a dozen more before we finish chapter 8. Man, that's nasty. Why doesn't Cloud just slash it with his sword? Alright, so we're going to take another little break here and switch up some of our materia. We're about to face a much larger version of the Grass Trike, the Queen Grass Trike. At this point, I think it would be better to give Cloud the ice materia since the Queen is weak against it and he's got a stronger magic attack. So yeah, I made a few changes. I gave Cloud ice and chakra since we want to be able to revive him of poison if necessary. I also gave Tifa lightning, and I gave her the cleansing materia to heal poison. And we'll also just quickly switch our quick commands to reflect the new materia that I have equipped. And we're almost ready for battle. I'm just going to give Cloud an ether quickly so that he's got enough MP to get through the fight.
More of them?
What is this, a science experiment?
Switching to Barret, we're going to use his overcharged ability on Grass Strike A, and I'm going to follow that up with some basic attack combos. I'm going to fill up his pressure bar to get him staggered, while simultaneously filling up both of Barret's ATB bars. Next, I'm going to cast Barrier on Cloud, and then use Assess on the Queen Grass Strike. I'm going to switch to Tifa and focus in on the staggered Grass Strike. I don't want to use any special abilities because I just want to charge her ATB bars. We'll continue to attack the second Grass Strike to gain more ATB in preparation for our finale. Then we'll move to Cloud. I'm going to cast Blizzard on this Grass Strike. That should finish it. Then we can do an ATB boost. Now we can start to move in on the Queen. I'm going to cast Blizzard on the Queen as well, and then follow that up with a combo which should get it pressured. Once it's pressured, I'll be able to use focused thrust. Then to switch over to Barret, use his overcharge to fill up an ATB, then I can follow that up with a focused shot. I'll get it staggered. Now we can lay on mega physical damage with Tifa. We're going to do 2 unbridled strengths in a row, follow that up with rise and fall, omni strike, whirling uppercut into dive kick for a huge finish, and a staggered damage bonus of over 200%.
Those things really creep me out.
A train's gonna get derailed by him one of these days.
Shinra should do something.
After an accident, they will.
When it's too late.
Nice, another Moogle medal. There was a lot going on in that fight, so if you have questions, just ask me in the comments. And we get 3 Phoenix Downs in our 7th chest. We're also going to visit the vending machine because, very randomly, this is our first opportunity to get the poison materia. You know, just sitting in this random vending machine in the subway tunnel. So I want to make some more materia changes. We're going to give fire to Cloud, we're going to give ice back to Tifa, and we're going to give thunder to Barret. And I also took the ATB boost off of Cloud and gave it to Barret too. Barret's got some more SP, so let's head into his upgrade menu. And we're going to head over to the 2nd core, and I'm going to upgrade his magic attack power. That'll come in handy in a little bit to eliminate some of the opponents faster that we come across. And lastly, we're going to change up our quick commands again to reflect our materia changes. I do a lot of this stuff throughout the playthrough because I want the fights to be as efficient as possible. It's pretty easy to fall into the habit of just equipping your characters with a few basic things and then forgetting about them for a chapter or two, but constant optimization is the key to reaching your full battle potential in this game. So we got the Queen Grass Strike, the Queen of a Grass Strike colony. As such, her duties include laying eggs and commanding her offspring in battle. Her main defense mechanism is the ability to spit sticky thread with which she can trap her foes. Inflicting a certain amount of damage makes her susceptible to staggering. She's weak against ice, and sometimes she'll drop a spiderweb. I still don't have a spiderweb, but we're going to get more opportunities later on. This thing looks like a Hydralisk from StarCraft. And finally, if we head into our inventory tab, we can take a look at our new poison materia. Allows you to use toxin-related spells. Unfortunately, there's not really a great opportunity to use poison in this chapter, but we will be using it in the future for sure. So we'll just top up our HP and our MP at the bench here, and then we can keep rolling. And if you take a look behind Barret up here, you can see our 3rd stamp graffiti marker.
There's good old Stamp. Check his numbers.
This isn't bad, you know?
Yeah, they really captured the essence of corporate propaganda.
We're about to encounter a new enemy, the Flame Trooper.
Check it out. I guess Shinra's doing something about those monsters after all.
Doing a half-assed job.
That looks like such a shit detail. Screw it. Let's just give it a quick once-over.
Using our 1st strike materia, we'll cast fire on the auxiliary security officer to get him out of the way. And then I'm going to focus on the gas canister on the back of the Flame Trooper because you can actually ignite that like it just did. And then that'll pressure him. Once he's pressured, we can use focused thrust to add more pressure. These guys are actually a pain in the ass to get staggered, but if you follow this, it's not too bad. So we're going to switch to Barret. We're going to use ATB boost followed by assess to get the assessment on this guy. We use overcharge to charge up Barret's ATB again while pressuring the Flame Trooper. Then we can follow that up with a double focused shot. We use Tifa to cast Blizzard on the staggered Flame Trooper, and then we can switch over to Cloud to finish off the last security officers with a triple slash. We got some boxes scattered around here after the fight that we can collect. Some over here. Oh man, another one. That's my 6th Moogle medal, I think. Amazing. Alright, and just a note about Barret's focused shot ability. It can be used with 1 ATB charge, however if you use it with 2 instead, you're going to add a lot more pressure to your opponent.
Alright, let's figure out where the hell we are.
So it's really great for staggering bosses or enemies that are just really hard to stagger. We'll need to use it a couple more times to unlock that ability as well.
There's an old rail yard not far from here. What we're looking for is somewhere inside.
And that is...
A secret passageway.
We've compiled our report on Avalanche's combat capabilities and our...
Report, report, report. What good do you think a damn report will do anyone?
I don't...
Have you already forgotten the war with Wu-Tai? An enemy spared is an enemy who will repay your kindness with blood. We must crush them thoroughly and completely, without hesitation or mercy. Shinra cannot and will not settle for anything less. Will you?
But sir...
If so, I can only assume that you and your men no longer wish to serve in your current positions. Is that correct?
We'll prepare the prototype in Section E for immediate deployment. Right now, damn it!
Another day, another victory. How do I do it?
If you didn't know, Heidegger is President Shinra's #1 military officer, essentially, and he's definitely pretty insane. Fun fact, he's voiced by John DiMaggio of the same fame as Bender from Futurama. For most of Chapter 5, if you try to go down a tunnel you're not supposed to be going down, you'll get a warning message from the game and it won't let you go that way. However, behind us, there is a way that you can go off course. I'm going to explain more about that at the end of the chapter. There's not really any secrets there.
Gotta love the irony of Shinra's smarmy lapdog leading the way to its master's destruction.
So the tunnel split in two here, and we took the right fork first because I want to head into this room and grab my last chest. And this contains a leather bracer, which is definitely one of the best pieces of equipment we've been able to find this far. So we're going to get that equipped onto Cloud right away. We had some fun messing around with some of the DLC items, but we're going to slowly start to phase that out as we get better in-game equipment. The leather bracer is a simple homemade leather bracer made by the Neighborhood Watch. We can give Barret the Midgar bangle that Cloud had equipped, and we'll also throw the Mako crystal on. We're not going to need the star pendant anymore. I love the DLC items. They're so flashy and cool. Midgar bangle.
Intruders!
So we can deal with these guys with a simple triple slash. That's a nice little shout out to the guards in the original that shout intruders. So we got our 5th stamp up on the wall right there and our 6th stamp on the pillar right here. Now we can take the left fork.
You really don't like stamp, do you, Barret?
It's not that I hate it. I hate the fact that Shinra took a loyal animal like that and co-opted it for their own self-serving agenda.
Poor old stamp.
Starting to remind me of one of Marlene's picture books. The one that's full of nothing but mazes.
Think you're making progress, and then you hit a wall.
Knock it down.
You're starting to sound like Barret.
Never mind.
It's a good plan. Hey, hold up. This way.
Security is a lot tighter than I thought it would be.
If they want to stand between us and the rail yard, that's their choice.
I forgot to mention before that I also equipped the poison materia to Barret. Okay, so we have one more door over here on the right, and nothing too special in here, but we have some more boxes. We're getting close to the end of the chapter, but we still have a couple more challenges left to face. Wow, another medal. What a lucky Chapter 5 run. Not only am I nailing all these battles, but I'm getting a whole bunch of Moogle medals in the process. So yeah, this is a super awesome run. Let's keep the good luck rolling. This is a challenging fight. We've got 2 flame troopers and 2 sentry launchers, both of which can deal a lot of damage and are tough to take down. We're going to get Barret's ATB up and use a bunch of his support moves, starting with Steel Skin. That'll prevent Barret from being interrupted by flamethrowers or missiles. I also casted Barrier on Cloud to negate some of the physical damage coming his way. And then lastly, I want to get one more ATB charge and assess the sentry launchers. We encountered the sentry launcher in Chapter 4, but we never actually had an opportunity to face it in combat, so that was our first chance to assess it. So I've got 2 ATB bars charged with Cloud, and I'm going to cast Fire on both these flame troopers. Aw man, I accidentally targeted the sentry launcher. What? But that second Fire killed both of them anyways. Nice. Flame troopers are really strong, but that's how powerful Cloud's magic attack is right now, that he can take them out with a single fire out. Even a 2-for-1 if you get them in the right angle. And with a couple thunderbolts from Barret, I can take out that first sentry launcher, and then we can focus our energies on this second sentry launcher. I'm just going to come at him with everyone. I want to get everyone's ATB up. I want to see if I can land a simultaneous magic attack from everyone using their different elemental magics. There's Barret's Thunder, and Tifa's Blizzard, and Cloud's Fire. And back to Thunder for good measure. Bam! Delta Force, Triple Tech, Chrono Trigger
No
fans.
getting through that gate. Let's take the stairs. We should be reaching that secret passage real soon. I knew Plan E wouldn't fail us. Should have called it Plan Excellent. What you think, Mr. Ex-Soldier?
Biggs made the plan, right?
I provided some input.
Hope not too much.
What's that supposed to mean?
So we'll head down the hall here. Ooh, vending machine. Don't mind if I do.
Thought this place was abandoned.
Guess not.
We have an orb of lightning materia between the lockers here. That's the game's way of hinting that we should probably equip our lightning materia right now. We got a whole bunch of goodies for sale at this vending machine. Hey, a new music disc. That's a stamp. We got some discounts we can grab as well. 3 high potions right here for 100 gil apiece. We got an ether for 100 gil, and we also got an extra phoenix down for 100 gil, so we'll grab all that. Perfect. We'll take a quick look at the enemy intel tab, and I want to examine the flame trooper. Troopers belonging to Shinra's public security division, equipped with flamethrowers that can target a wide area. They are used in monster extermination ops or when the enemy must be thoroughly obliterated. Hitting these troopers in the back will eventually cause their fuel tank to blow and inflict significant damage. They're weak against fire, and they can sometimes drop high potions. So again, this guy looks very similar to the other infantry soldiers we've come across, but his colors are definitely more fire-like. And we have some new information on the sentry launcher since assessing it. Its stagger gauge is is only affected by non-elemental and lightning magic. Of these, lightning magic is the more effective at filling the gauge. Oh, sick, and I'm glad I landed a stagger on it too with Barret's lightning. There's the stamped disc and cover art in our inventory, a disc containing a pop song. So we're gonna have a rest at the bench here, and then we'll have a listen to the stamped song. This song's both amazing and terrible at the same time. I was looking online and I was surprised to see that a lot of people actually really like this song. In a hilarious way, I can kind of relate, but from a musical perspective, it's not nearly as good as some of the other music in the game, so I consider this to be a joke piece.
Bow wow wow, he's a good boy who never stops, keeping the city safe for each and everyone. Bow wow, cause now he's kicking back a butt, knocking adversary into the next week. Go all out, go all out, little step. You've got so much courage and everybody thinks you are so swell. Even though you get distracted by a tree thrown in the way, even though you don't remember how to sit or how to stay. Fight for us, little step. You just stand on 4 legs and you're the hero that we need. Even though you're always tempted by a tender meaty bone, even though you bark at nothing when you think you're all alone. Go all out, little stand. Fight for us, little stand. If only we could have such big hearts. La 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 la. And take a stand at Shinra. If only we could have such big hearts. La 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 la. And take a stand at Shinra.
Alright, fuck that shit, let's get back to the action. Break room. Sorry boys, break time's over. We have 2 elite security officers using Barret. I'm gonna lock onto the first one, use the overcharge ability, follow that up with a focus shot to get him staggered. Then I'm gonna use Braver with Cloud to finish that guy off. I'm gonna switch over to Tifa, and we're just gonna do a nice uppercut to dive kick combo. He's just got a sliver of health left, so we'll finish him off. We got some boxes on the other side of the room. Oh, sorry guys, did I say break time's over? I meant lifetime's over. And now we're almost at the secret passage to the reactor.
So many guards.
Too many. Keep looking for faithful little Stan. He'll lead us to the passageway.
Okay, so we're gonna get prepared for a boss fight coming up, but first I want to get some boxes dotted around the place. Nice, another Moogle medal. I think that's number 8. We got a couple more boxes over here. What? Moogle medal 9? Are you kidding me? What? Moogle medal 10? Oh my god. What a lucky run. Okay, I can't mess this boss fight up. I need to ace this. I'm going to make a couple materia changes. I'm giving Thunder back to Cloud since the boss is weak against Thunder, and I also want to give him the ATB boost as well. And then we're going to remove Cleansing and give Healing back to Tifa. I can also upgrade Cloud's weapons again, and this time he's unlocked a 3rd core, so we're going to have new powers available to us. For the Buster Sword, we have Attack Power, Magic Attack Power, Max HP, Max MP, MP Regeneration, and a new materia slot. I'm going with the new materia slot. We always want to go for that first if possible, unless we need powers for other things. And moving down to the Iron Blade, I'm going to extend Cloud's magic potential even further on the 3rd core, so I'll read off the options anyways. We have Attack Power, Magic Attack Power, 2 of those upgrades, Max HP, Limit Break, 5% boost with low HP, and Self-Healing, 50% boost with low HP. Like I said, I'm going to do Magic Attack Power. We want to increase his magic potential. Since the boss coming up is weak against Thunder and Cloud has the strongest magic attack, it just makes sense to set this up like this. Sadly, I haven't unlocked Thundara yet, the 2nd level of Thunder, but you guys might have that by now, especially if you've been grinding. I just reassigned our quick commands, and now we're ready for battle. Here's the 7th and final stamp.
This it? Get back!
What the?
That all you got?
Someone's mad.
Take
Take your best shot, asshole!
So this thing's called the Crab Warden, and there's 3 phases to this boss fight. In phase 1, we want to focus in on destroying a couple of its legs and getting it staggered. We can accomplish this with a combination of Thunder from Cloud and some Punisher-based combos. So we've almost taken out the first leg. I'm intentionally saving my ATB boost power-up for the second phase of the boss fight, so we're not going to use that yet. We'll cast a Thunderbolt on this leg, we can finish it off with some swipes, and then cast Thunder on the third leg. At this point, I'm going to switch over to Barret, and I'm going to do an assessment on the Crab Warden so we can get his enemy intel taken care of. There we go, now he's almost staggered from all the damage I did to his legs, so we'll just do an overcharge and get him staggered. And at this point we're nearly through the first phase of the fight, so rather than blow my ATB charges on big powerful moves, I'm going to opt to build more ATB with basic attacks and prepare for the second phase. Alright, so here we are at the second phase. It's pretty similar to the first phase, but he's got more weaponry that he's going to throw our way, and there's also some slug rays that are going to join the fight now as well. I saved Cloud's ATB boost so that I can one-shot all the slug rays and get them out of the fight as quickly as possible. I'm going to switch over to Barret temporarily, top up my ATB, then I'm going to use a couple support spells. So the first thing I want to do is cast Steel Skin on Barret himself, and then we'll use Barrier for Cloud. It's really easy to forget about support abilities, but they make a huge difference in certain situations, so try to get into the habit of using them wherever possible. With 2 ATB bars charged, we're going to use Cloud's Triple Thunder technique, so I thundered the first slug ray, I used ATB boost, now I can use Thunder on the second 2 slug rays and finish them off and get them out of the way. I'm mostly saving Tifa for the finale of the fight, so I need her ATB charges to be up, but I am going to use 1 to cast a Ether on Cloud and keep his magic high. So the slug rays are out of the way and we've buffed up our team with some support abilities, now I want to focus on the legs again. Anytime the Crab Warden uses Wildfire, make sure to step back because it's a pretty annoying attack to get hit by. Also, during the second phase, the Crab Warden has increased defenses, so it's going to be harder to take out his legs and deal massive damage. Just keep pummeling away with Cloud, and anytime he gets an ATB charge, use Thunder on the legs. I'd say the second phase is also the longest part of the fight. So we took out the last leg with Cloud's Thunder and got him pressured. We're going to switch over to Barret, use Overcharge, follow that up with a focus shot to add even more pressure. Barret's Overcharged ability is a really important technique for getting his ATB up quickly. So I added a focused thrust from Cloud, and we almost have him staggered in the second phase. With air support, the Crab Warden is going to call more slug rays to join the battle, but we don't have to worry about them because they'll disappear in phase 3 if we can finish him off in phase 2. Continue to cast Thunder on the other appendages whenever possible. Okay, we got him staggered. And now we just want to lay in physical damage with everyone without using our abilities because I want to save the ATB for the third and final phase. So just keep pressuring him, just keep adding more damage. We should almost have him, and there we go, here's the third phase. So in phase 3 we don't have to deal with the slug rays anymore, but as you might have guessed, the Crab Warden is going to unleash his most powerful attacks now. However, with the right technique we might be able to finish him off before he uses his final attack. The tricky part for this phase is he doesn't stay staggered for very long. In the first 2 phases he has quite a long stagger period, but right now we're only going to get like 5 seconds. Now we're going to have an opportunity to check out a new summon. Barret's going to summon Cactuar. Alright Cactuar buddy, it's your shining moment dude, don't let us down. As a DLC item, Cactuar is a little bit of a novelty, but he's pretty fun. I'm glad we're going to have him on our side. We're just going to slow things down in the menu for a sec. I'm going to use Thunder on the right auxiliary weapon. It's really difficult to time all of your abilities properly with such a short stagger window. I'm going to use a high potion on Cloud with Barret. If you guys remember, I actually upgraded Cloud's Iron Blades so that when he has high HP, he's going to do a stronger magic attack. Switching to Tifa, I'm going to use her Unbridled Strength technique twice, and we'll use that to increase the stagger damage bonus once we get this guy staggered. We're going to have to line up everything as perfectly as possible if we want to do the most damage possible during that short stagger window. Okay, we're just going to slow things down, cast Thunder on the left auxiliary weapon. Wow, he's still not staggered. Okay, just a few more attacks should tip him over the edge to the stagger. There we go. Okay, just breathe for a second. I really want to pull this finale off so we can use this take and keep those Moogle medals that I got. The Warden's generator is now exposed, so we're going to cast Thunder on that. Switch to Tifa and quickly use Rise and Fall and Omni Strike to increase his damage percentage. The stagger window is almost closed, but we should have enough time to cast Thunder with Cloud one more time. Big damage, nice, but he's still got a sliver of health. I'm just going to unload my other magic with my other characters. Okay, and I'm going to just try and build up a bunch of ATB with Cloud and cast as much Thunder as possible on this motherfucker. Oh man, bad news. The Crab Warden is about to electrocute the floor with his final attack surge. There's 1 Thunder. Oh, and the Cactuar is using his final attack as well. 10,000 needles. Jeez, this is going to be so close. What, Cloud's got his limit break? Oh, it's over. Cross slash. Let's go. And just in the nick of time, too, before the Crab Warden used Surge. And he dropped a new weapon for Tifa, the Metal Knuckles.
All clear.
And stay down.
Let's go.
Sure.
Aye, this way.
This won't do.
Sir, analytics reports that the feed went down after an anomaly was registered during the test.
An anomaly? Or an excuse for your failure to properly prepare the armor?
No, sir. All modules were confirmed fully operational. It's far more likely, given the circumstances, that the sensors were overloaded.
Is that so?
All the sensors in Section E are inoperable.
The President.
Yes. Yes. Everything is fine, sir. Better, even. There's been a development. Yes. Understood, sir. We know exactly where they were headed. If the armor is intact, then you'd best determine the nature of this anomaly soon. Should you fail to do so, you will deal with our intruders personally.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry. I treat my people more than fairly. So don't disappoint me.
The passage is beyond these shipping containers. Let's slip through them.
Talk about a tight squeeze.
You okay?
Yeah.
So, you bump into any giant robots like that in Reactor 1?
Yeah, except the bastard looked like a scorpion. Speaking of which, what would you say that last one looked like?
Huh? Well...
Looks dead
Lo and
now.
behold.
Phew, so here we are at the end of Chapter 5. I'm just going to check a couple things in the menu. It's also nice to see Heidegger laughing maniacally like the original. So first, let's take a look at the enemy intel and the flavor text for the Crab Warden, a large sentry weapon manufactured by Shinra's Advanced Weaponry Division. It is an outdated model used during the last war, so it is kept in storage in the Corkscrew tunnel. Slow but heavily armored and bristling with powerful weapons. Crippling its parts significantly fills its stagger gauge. It's weak against lightning, and it drops the metal knuckles. Also, I completely filled its battle log. That's awesome. Assessed, staggered, part crippled, weakness exploited, struck by limit. And here's what this thing looks like from all different angles. Pretty heavily armored, giant, steampunk, robotic tank bug thing. And next we'll take a look at Tifa's new weapon in the inventory. So yeah, if we go down to weapons, we can see the metal knuckles. Gloves reinforced with metal to pack an extra punch. Nice, so we're going to check that out in the next chapter. There's no point in equipping it right now, and we'll do all the upgrades for that as well in the next chapter. So it looks like Shinra is monitoring our every move. They've got cameras on us. They're sending soldiers and machines after us. Heidegger, the head military chief, is on the warpath. I'm glad they explained that side of things, because it would be pretty lame if Shinra didn't know who Avalanche was at this point. Chapter 5 was so hype. I'm so happy with the run. But I'm even more excited for Chapter 6. I love this chapter coming up. The music and the combat in Chapter 6 just get me so pumped.
Just so you know, it's not gonna get any easier.
When did it ever?
Oh man, I got goosebumps. I'm so excited. And we get our Plan E trophy for completing the chapter. Well guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up on Chapter 5. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking it out. If you learned something or if you just enjoyed the episode, please feel free to drop a like and make sure you're subscribed if you don't want to miss the next episode. Before I leave you though, I want to show some of the alternative routes that you can take in this chapter. So we're back on the train car at the beginning of Chapter 5, and as I was mentioning earlier, it is possible to run down the 3-minute timer during the Slug Ray fight until you get to 0, and which point you're going to get a different cutscene and a different series of events as you exit the train. In the cutscene, Cloud remains separated from Tifa and Barret. He's got to fight off more Slug Rays on the train, and then when he jumps off, he's by himself instead of being with Barret, and then immediately he's ambushed by some slug rays. So yeah, it's just a matter of facing more slug rays by yourself. It's a great way to get a little bit more experience through the chapter, but because I wasn't trying to do any grinding and I wanted to have the more professional way of doing the chapter, I decided to go with the way that I did it. The second alternative way that you can go takes place immediately after watching the third Heidegger cutscene. So normally you wouldn't be able to walk down this passage right here at the beginning of the chapter after jumping off the train, but you can actually approach it from the really long way around from section E after watching the third Heidegger scene. I think it's a sweet little Easter egg because throughout the entire chapter you always get these warning messages from your party members and from the game itself telling you not to go down this tunnel or that tunnel, and this is the only time in the chapter that the game actually lets you go down a long passage for no reason whatsoever. You'll encounter some slug rays along the way, so I guess it's a cool way of grinding, and you also get some hilarious banter from Tifa and Barret making fun of Cloud for going so far off track, wasting their time and jeopardizing the mission. So it's worth checking out if you haven't seen it before, or if you want to do some grinding. It's also kind of cool that you can loop all the way around from section E back to the beginning of the chapter at section C again. It's a great way to pick up any of the chests or collectibles you may have missed along the way, and most of the enemies will respawn, so if you still need to get a stagger on an enemy or two, you can definitely go around and try again. It's silly and kind of pointless, but I'm happy I discovered it because I really want to know every little detail about this game and every secret. My favorite part is that Cloud keeps defending why he's going off track, but then when he gets around to section C again, he's just like, wait a sec, what am I doing? And you can see right here, this is the only way you'll get to the bottom of section C. So yeah, it's pretty cool little Easter egg. And I'll leave you now with a couple character profiles. Stamp, a sweet little canine character beloved by the citizens of Midgar, a regular fixture in cartoons and movies. His face is on every corner of the city, either in toy or poster form, originally used as propaganda material during wartime. Heidegger, the director of public security, this former commanding officer has been President Shinra's right-hand man since the early days of the company. The president trusts him implicitly, which has made public security the most powerful division within Shinra. Like the president, Heidegger is ruthless and will not hesitate to sacrifice his subordinates to get what he wants. Factions of Avalanche, groups which have splintered off from Avalanche HQ. The Midgar cell led by Barret harbored misgivings about HQ's policies and decided to defect. Since going rogue, Barret and the others employ extreme, if not altogether dangerous, methods to save the planet from Shinra. Avalanche HQ, a group of planetologists working to protect the planet. As the organization grew, smaller cells began to splinter off. To distinguish themselves among the growing factions, it took the appellation HQ. Despite the many groups' different approaches and ideologies, they still occasionally work together for their one shared purpose, the destruction of Shinra. Ifrit, a savage fire elemental entity, this great horned beast is capable of untold devastation and can reduce anything in its path to a pile of smoldering ash. It's got 3 moves: Radiant Plume, Crimson Dive, and Hellfire. Well guys, that's a wrap on Chapter 5. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you cats in Chapter 6. Kilson out. Peace.